To you guys, it's hot as fuck right now. I'm sweating. Don't ask me what. It was cold this morning, it was rain, I went out, and now today's video, I know I'm like, you're like, why are you bringing up the Met Gala right now? Here's why. I've scheduled loads of videos pre this time, so I didn't have time to fit this in at the right time. But what this video is essentially, I created an outfit for every single Met Gala theme that has existed. Which there was 48, I believe, themes. Even though there was 74, 75 Met Galas, there was only 48 themes. And I want to say from the get-go, I am not a fashion student. I do have family in the fashion industry though, and that's overwhelming in the sense of please don't kill me and say I'm shit at this. And also I have no idea what anything's called. I want to, I just have a good eye for what's pretty. And also obviously this year especially, no one fucking followed the theme, which is just horrendous. And I know I would look, one, so good, two, follow the theme if I went. So Anna Wintour, please just invite me. And also we're gonna move past the fact that I am wearing urban outfits. Okay. First, we have the first theme, which was the World of Balenciaga, and I hate the colors because I don't have better pencil colors, so you're gonna have to move past that. This yellowish orangish color, imagine it's like a creamy silk color, you know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. Anyways, very basic. But I did my research on all of these themes. I did my research on all the fashion of the times, blah, blah, blah. It was very like square cut with sleeves, big around the neck, long. And also, I know someone's gonna come for me for this, but almost all of them have like triangle pointed heels, and that's just because it's simple and easy. And yes, I went with gloves as well. It seemed very on trend for the Balenciaga images that I got because I wanted to take from Balenciaga at the time. I think it was the 60s or 70s. So let's say we were in the 60s/70s. I was focusing on Balenciaga at that time. I promise these get more interesting. This was just very basic. I was starting out. Again, I don't know why I used yellow. I was trying to find something as close as possible to like cream. I am a cream whore. I meant for the color cream. Oh fuck. Oh my god, it really doesn't help that I'm sweating right now. Anyway, the next theme, we're gonna move right past that, was the 1910s to 1930s. And I could have gone with like a flapper girl look, but I think that's so overdone at the Met Gala. Like, why did Daisy, what's her name, Edgar something, and several other women turn up in flapper girl outfits when the theme was Gilded Age? It made me cringe. It's like you don't know how to read. It's so sad. Anyways, I wanted to go with the, I have no idea what they're called, but this thing here, it's like the corset, the end of the lingerie corset thing. That look is so beautiful. And I saw a dress where it had that, but the dress continued beneath it, because obviously if you're wearing lingerie, that was all you would wear. You wouldn't obviously be wearing a dress, but the dress continued, and it was like a detail of a dress, and it was just, oh my god, I was obsessed with it. I was like, that's stunning. But again, these are quite boring. The first ones, it's hard to, like, when you're not a student and you don't know how, like a fashion student, and you don't know how to like portray things, it's kind of hard. But anyways, we'll continue. The next one's very cute. I like this. Romantic Hollywood. You could go so all out with this. There is so, not just like Marilyn Monroe, but there are so many like women of that time, like Rita Hayworth. You could go all out with the makeup, with the hair. Again, I went for like that heart-shaped cut at the neck, and you know, that like feather scarf, you know what I mean, that feather thing. My brain's melted. Where's my coffee? Oh, I think something that's really specific to this theme would be like the fact that the dresses are tight. And I think sometimes what's hard with these is like, you're just wearing a dress and that's it, and there's nothing else to it. It can be dismissed as quite boring, even if it's on theme. The Met Gala has become something that has very high standards, and rightly so, but I think their themes now are much more specific and you can kind of explore more with that, whereas like Romantic Hollywood, you're kind of giving everybody a theme where it's already specific, you know, instead of amp, which you could do anything with. I love the pearls, I love the tight dress, the heart-shaped neckline. I think either white, red, like dark red, or black. The dress would be the best, just because those are classic colors. To elevate it, I think you need, for example, the pearls. The material needs to be either like silk or not glittered, but like kind of like shiny. I guess maybe glittered would be okay with romantic Hollywood. You just need something more to it, and by that I don't mean stealing Marilyn Monroe's dress. Anyways, next, American women of style. This one was interesting because I didn't want to go with like a specific woman in America who was classic with style, but you could do that. Like, for example, you could definitely go for like a whole Cher moment. I'm not gonna lie, that would kind of slap. But I got a couple of images that I liked of like American old fashion and kind of put them all together. I usually hate blue, but blue was something that came up consistently in my research of fashion in America at that time, and I love the bell-shaped kind of sleeves. I think that's very, again, it was around the 70s, and then there was a trend that at that time where it was like tight all the way up until like the knees, and then like it would be a bell shape again matching the sleeves. I went with that, and I also think like, again, to elevate that you have to go with jewelry, so there's a gold jewelry, and I also added a little two things, triangle cone shape thing at the bra. Could definitely be dismissed as ugly, but I think it adds to it, and there was a reason for it. It was very popular in old fashion in America, and also a corset moment. I think corsets in general have always come back and been popular and had their moment, whether it's like every 10 years or every 5 years or something, and obviously they're very on trend right now. So I think that would be like a mixture of different styles of fashion, but altogether you can see the American history within it of fashion is what I was going for. And also I didn't want it to be glitter, but I think I went for more of that's to make it look textured. This is where it starts to get more interesting and my ideas got a bit better. So there's Russian costume, and I'm just gonna say that throughout this entire thing there are so many like themes which are countries and places and stuff. You have to be super careful to not like appropriate and do stuff like this correctly. So with Russian costume, I just looked up the biggest bits of their fashion in which wouldn't be like offensive and appropriating it. So I went for, they like puff sleeves, and I went for red and yellow. Yellow represents gold, so it's red and gold, everybody. Flowy dresses, they weren't very like fitting, like tight. Again, a corset moment. It kind of looks like a lot of royalty kind of thing, if that makes sense, like royal colors, that deep red, that gold. It was very pretty. And then I also went for a little veil moment because they were also super popular in Russian costume, and I don't know the real name for it, but this thing that you can see in it, the gold on the, like a headband, tiara thing. Oh, this is failing, but you get my point. It almost looks a bit fairy-like. I think it's really pretty, but like I'm not articulating myself very well at all. The next one I really like. So we have treasure trove. Here's my thing. Gold by itself is so ugly, and I know that's surprising. I'm a Leo. Gold is supposed to be like my favorite color. It's just not. But the theme of treasure trove, you could go so good into it. So I was thinking structured like corset slash bodysuit with gold chains off of both the sleeves and the hips all the way down. So you kind of get this idea of being like entangled in gold, right? And then I didn't draw this properly, but you would have shells as well. I love shells. I don't know why, don't ask me, but I love shells. And then in the hair, you'd have like gold pieces, gold leaf makeup, and shells also in the hair, and then like gold-ish highlights. And I'm not talking shitty highlights, I'm talking like proper nice gold highlights, but like bright gold, not that brownish gold. Gold matching shoes and jewelry. And I think that is the best route to go with something that fits the theme. It's simple but not too simple. This is where like things start to change and I'm like I'm doing good here. Then the next one was ballet. I love this one. I was a ballerina when I was a kid for a few years. I loved it and I want to get back into it, and I still have my little ballet bag with my name on it. I have very good memories of ballet, and like wearing those clothes made me so happy. Have to go with pink. I mean most wear pink or black, but I wanted to go with pink. Obviously I want the ballet flag, but with the tie up all the way up to the knees, and then I want it to be super structured, so it's like bows up here, bows up here. That's how you tie them up, like with ribbon bows, and then like almost corseted and then like outwards it's super structured, and then there's like a point, I'd say just above the knees, where it flows naturally. There's no structure. I hope I'm making sense because I don't feel like I am. And then in the hair would be bows as well. You kind of have to have like a consistency in the outfit itself. So I wouldn't say bows would be everywhere, but they'd be on the sleeves, they'd be in the hair, they'd be on the shoes, and that's about it. No bows on the dress. I feel like that is going too far. But yeah, having your hair up, ballerinas always have buns. The next one I also really like, it's the Habsburg Era. This dress is actually a pre-existing dress, but I added to it. Cara Delevingne wore it once, and it was the same kind of theme. But what I added to it was a mixture of other Habsburg themed dresses. So there was this dress, and it had like a belt, and I didn't want a belt. So the black bit here is actually more so of a corset. I don't like belts at all, really. Obviously it stops here, but then I wanted it to have a really long train. So on the front it's like all black and white, and like it looks like one dress, but from the back it has this super long train, and on this train is specific colors: brown, red, green, and like gold, like yellowish gold flowers, all the way up to the back, because that was very like, those colors were really used in Habsburg era fashion. And I think the idea of like a duality of it looks like one dress and then it's kind of like another was really cool. So I really like that one. And obviously the black boots, just because that was kind of part of the original dress. So then we go on to our next one. We have China. So instead of copying like the kimonos or anything like that, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to do something that looked inspired by instead of appropriating. So I went with I basically have a cardigan that like, it's just high neck. And so I think that would be a great way to show that it was inspired by China. So it's like a cardigan here, it's high neck, short sleeved, but there is like space here, so it cuts off here, and then you can see your boobs basically, cleavage, and then you have the rest of the dress. So I wanted to obviously go with red, obvious choice, but I also wanted to go for white, maybe again an obvious choice. I wanted to go for, I mean, you could go for so many patterns. They obviously have a lot of patterns. They have blossom patterns and dragon patterns and loads of beautiful patterns, but again, I kind of wanted to go for a more inspired look than a completely taken from look, and I'd go for an abstract kind of artistic pattern instead. And then it kind of cuts, so as you can see, like this round bit cuts here and it's round here, so I thought you could cut it at the end like that as well, and then have a long train, but it's very slim. Like the whole thing is very slim, again inspired by. And I also love the detail of lace tights. The cardigan would be lace too, and they would both be red, and I just think that ties the whole thing together. Having the lace here, having the lace on your legs, and then having like the dress to break that apart, and then like block red heels. I think that just, the whole thing just brings it all together, and I just really loved this one. We have 18th century women. This one, again, simple. I just don't know how people don't follow these themes. An 18th century dress is just no other way to put it. Again, I always say I don't like blue that much, but maybe that's just because I don't think it suits me that much. But you'd go for the typical big curly hairdo, done up, gold jewelry, puff sleeves, and it kind of comes out and it falls down really flowy, but it's thick, gold, and maybe some glitter even. I mean, usually I really hate glitter, but if you saw the woman, the interviewer at the Met who got like the best dressed, the gold she was wearing and the glitter she was wearing was so beautiful, and I think that's the kind of vibe I was going for. Then we have French history, and I love this one. This one's so cute. We have the kind of square cut here and then the heart-shaped here, and it's like mid-length sleeve, and then it kind of puffs out. It's not super structured, but again, an almost kind of corset moment. And we have, again, it's tight and then it kind of flows out a little bit at the end, and we've got this pink to gold kind of moment. I think if it fades a little bit into gold, that would be really pretty. But I think the most important part of this would be a pink hairpiece. They always had things in their hair, whether it was hats or accessories or flowers or something, with a pink umbrella. These are like the big Like, they seem small, but they are the pieces that bring outfits together. And I don't know, I just love it. It's beautiful. And the hair for this one is a bit more themed as well, which I liked. So then we go on to Yves Saint Laurent. This one is a little bit different. I wanted to do a whole I look gay moment, I am gay, and have a little bit of a mask moment, which sounds stupid because it doesn't make you masculine to wear a suit. But I think I'm saying that I feel quite masculine in suits when I wear suits, and I like that, so that's my point. But this would be quite fitted suit with not padded but like structured shoulders, and brown. Ugh, brown's such a good color. I don't care what anyone says, brown is such a good color. Again, it's very, I did it in the time that this was a theme. I think it was the 80s at this point. It was very structured, it was very straight lines, it was very fit the body with like big shoulders. It was also very big hair, and so I just would go for quite a simple look with gold buttons. You can't really see that I did that, but gold buttons and like little accessories here and there. It's one of those where you would have to wear Yves Saint Laurent. It's not designing your own kind of thing and working with someone. I think that's why they started to kind of change the themes. So next one, Man and the Horse. I like this one. I took inspiration from several things I saw here. They have a corset here which is black, but the corset doesn't stop at the hips where it usually does. It goes past the hips, and then the dress continues, and the dress is super like flowy and out there and quite big, and it's white, and I think the word, it's not pleated, it is pleated. Is it pleated? You know what I mean. And there's also the puff sleeves and the, is it jog? Fuck, what are their names? I'm forgetting all the words today. Horse riding boots, black boots, and then the hair would be tied up as well, but on low ponytail, because horse riders wear low ponytails to have their helmets on. I wouldn't go with a helmet, but you have to stay on theme. Then we have Royal India. Again, you don't want to take from, you want to be inspired by. So with this, I did, for starters, natural hair. This is just my natural hair. And I just did 2 gold pins on each side. I was watching this Indian film called Gangubai Kathiawadi, and the women in it had similar hair to mine, as in just very curly, and they both had 2 pins in each side, and I thought that's so beautiful. Like, I wish I could do that. Like, I don't have any gold pins, but they are so beautiful, and that way I was inspired by that. Gold jewelry, gold shoes, and then I went for a heart shaped neckline but strapless, and what would attach the arm to the chest would be just like rings of gold, so gold rings here to here to here, because gold is a very big part of the fashion. And then this lovely green, by the way, that I used here, that's my favorite green ever, but that lovely pistachio kind of green would go into gold, and then it would just be a simple dress from there. I love it. I think it's clearly inspired by and not taken from. For example, I wouldn't just fucking turn up in a sari, you know, sometimes you have to point out the fucking obvious. And then we have dance. You can see with this one I got inspired by ballet again, but I'm a real ballerina at heart, and I wanted to go for a less practical look and more so even more structured than the last one. So instead of it being like a flowy dress, it's actually like structured hoops all the way down, corset moment, kind of like fluffy, not fluffy but like puffy sleeve moment, blue to pink moment, very ballet colors, pastel colors, and ballet flats again, and hair up as well. And then we have Diana Vreeland. Now this one, these are all very simplified. The theme names back then were very extreme, and a lot of them were inspired by the exhibitions that were going on or critiques. So for example, Diana Vreeland, she wrote a lot of pieces. She was a legend, she was a fashion critic, so it wasn't exactly on her actual fashion. However, I wanted to do her actual fashion because I liked how she dressed. She had very simple cuts, short leg pants, short trousers, wore a lot of black and wore a lot of red. She was known for her black and her red, so I went for red rose in the hair moment, hair all the way natural down like she did, and short sleeves, short pant legs, all black, and then black like tie-up shoes that are very fashionable at the moment. It's again very simple, but it's actually inspired by Diana instead of what she critiqued. I don't know, I wanted to do a little twist on it. Don't punish me. And then we have Victorian dress. So I love this bit. We have, it's not strapless, but you know, it's an all across neckline and sleeve, kind of puffy all the way across, if that makes sense. Tight again, fitting again, and then it has a tail. The tail and the puff here would all be in white lace, because that with black velvet is stunning. So white lace and black velvet together is the look for this one. Again, very simple, but the shape, the cut, the puff sleeve over it, and the tail very Victorian. It's a bit more modern take on Victorian, but it's still with the theme. Don't punish me. Then we have Napoleon. This one was quite fun. I liked this one. Obviously, if this was done today, you'd have people literally coming up with like trousers falling down and like the whole Napoleon genuine thing. But what I went for was like a French kind of shirt of the times look, where it's like triangle cut out like that, and then the shirt all the way down, buttoned up, very tight here, and it comes out and it's the same material as the end of the dress. Again, very simple, but that shirt look is essentially what ties you to Napoleon, and the frill ties you to Napoleon. And also it wouldn't be pure white, it would again be off-white, but I don't have any fucking pencils to show that, so don't shoot me. Thank you. Next would be haute couture theatre de la mode, which was basically, to put it simply, they had little models. I think this is the right one I'm talking about. They had little models and they did fashion on these models, so they put them in little outfits, and it was just like little caricatures with outfits on. A lot of it was quite 70s inspired, a lot of it was weird, and I hate anything that's like uncanny valley. It was kind of like that. It's a big phobia of mine, so I couldn't look at photos for more than 5 seconds. But there was a lot of very lovely miniature fashion there. So I went for a 50s kind of triangle cone corset, and then it came out and then it would ruffle on the sides, but not all the way around. It would just ruffle on one side, then the other side, and then at the bottom on one side. Again, I don't have the colors I want to use, but you get the gist. And then they all had hats or things in their hair again. I'm not a fan of hats, and hats look awful on me, so I would instead do like a headband with a flower in it. And I think this is proof that the triangle heel chef kiss goes with everything. Next we have fashion and history, and I love this one because it was so free for you to choose anything, and I wanted to go with Greek fashion because I am Greek, and you don't see a lot of it anywhere, and it's not celebrated at all. There's no like appreciation of it anywhere, and I wanted to really bring that to it. So I went for a kind of goddess look with the gold leaf thing that comes out like that, gold jewelry. And a lot of the Greek goddess looks, they had cut the like waist here, and then it goes out from there and it's really flowy. That's what I went for. And I would also go barefoot. I know that's crazy, but Greeks are insane, dude. So I wanted to go for a look that I really resonated with. If I could do anything else that was again Greek related, I have this dress that I used to dance in, and my granddad was my dance teacher at Greek school, and it's just black, super tight, and it comes out and it's really puffy, and at the bottom are rainbow stripes but in pastel. We have a moderate style, and I looked up the like meaning behind this for them, and it was like evening wear, and it was really confusing. They had like 3 different styles for it, and I was just like, I'm gonna just go with evening wear. So we have like a very classic tight dark red. It looks quite pink here. Actually, you know what, I'd go for a blush color. I think blush colors are beautiful. Hi buddy. Hi. And I'd go with a sleeve up to here, but it would be puff, and the rest would be very tight to the body apart from the end. And I also wanted to go for a bit of a crazy hair thing where it had like a headpiece, because again it was in moderate style as well. The next one I also love, it was Orientalism. I love the colors I used for this one. Again, you can tell that green is just my favorite color. It's beautiful. This pistachio with a dark gold. Ugh, again, I looked up images and the fashion, and again, you want to be inspired by, not taken from. And I went for just a normal kind of cut here, like this one here, just that kind of cut. But there was this beautiful dress I saw which was like several pieces of different materials. So there was like a sheer material, and then like the rest of the dress material, which formed like a yin and yang in the center. And again, there was like this cut here, which again is inspired by. So a cut here for like the chest. I wanted to go for quite a square kind of shoulder and long sleeve, with the end of the sleeve being gold. Tight cut again, quite not short, but just below the knee, I'd say, maybe a bit below, you know, on around the shins, and then a long tail. I love this look. I think it's beautiful. The colors are just insane, and that cut here, that idea is just so beautiful. Next one I also like, it was haute couture again. So this one, I went for very out there looks that I could find on Pinterest. I went for a strapless look. I'm really not much of a strapless girl because my boobs do not hold up dresses, but I have grown, my boobs have grown, so maybe they do and I just don't know. I wanted to go for this beautiful, like, I love that abstract art scribble look with loads of different colors on white. I just think it's so cool. A normal kind of shape, strapless, tight around the waist, sticks to the skin until at the shin, and there would be a bustle all in the same color. And then at the shin where it kind of stops, it would be like sheer, like either lace or like sheer material, which was like off-white, and then just so there's a break in it and it's not boring. I love that. And then like I didn't, for the shoe, I just didn't know which of the colors to choose that I used. Either one of them would kind of go with it. So then we have Dior. Again, I look back at that time with Dior. A lot of gold, but there was this beautiful dress I saw, which I think it was more modern. It was long sleeve, it looked quite royal, and again the cut for the waist is high and it just comes out. There's no more to the shape, it just kind of comes out, and I found it so beautiful. And then I'd have like a little tiara moment, not a proper tiara, just like a gold hairpiece kind of moment. Then we have Versace Le Sun. I like this one. The Versace cut of the boob, and like there's nothing in between, and then it goes down. I added loads of different necklines and sleeves, and I mixed it all together because they have several that I was obsessed with, and I was like, I want that and that and that all together. And the gold buttons and details, love. And I would wear high boots, but again, it's just too specific, so you can't really be so awesome and fun with it like you can with the next one, which is Cubism. I'm an artist, my mum's an artist, she's also an art teacher. I've said that she's a yoga teacher, and she does literally everything. She's an art teacher, a yoga teacher, blah blah blah. She does so many things. And I went for a lovely little Picasso moment. Again, inspired, there was a whole show around fashion inspired by Cubism and Picasso, and I took from that. I love, there was one dress where like basically there was like a face, and like the eyes were on the boobs, and then the nose was like the belly button, and the mouth was like, you know? And I went for that, and I went for the colors that I liked that was used throughout, but I went for like a piece that was like super tight, because I liked also, there was one where it was like a skeleton and it was outlined, like the body was outlined, the fingers were outlined, and I wanted to go for that. No, I wouldn't have like gloves, but I would have these things like outlined, the body outlined. I don't know why, but I just really like that. So it was kind of like an all-in-one. And then rock style, again, I love this one, but it's just so, I mean, you could do so much with it. I think I was kind of lazy with my research, but this is how I dress normally. So like I would have my personal mask moment. I'm not saying suits and mask, I would have my mask moment. And purple was super popular with the era that they were trying to pull from. I don't like purple, but I would go for it because it's just very, you know, kind of on point. I would have like a high waist pantsuit kind of look, bell-bottomy, loose, and then underneath I'd have like black loose, almost sheer top, loads of jewelry, just like a shit ton of jewelry, flowy hair, black boots. It's one of those things where if you were in the moment, you develop more, you know? Then again, this is so specific, but there was a literal Jacqueline Kennedy theme. So I'm sure Kim Kardashian would quite literally steal one of Jacqueline's old pieces, but the cut is just so simple and there's not much fun you could do with it. It's kind of like dressing up like a celebrity. It's like a Halloween party, and I just don't know how you could be creative with that and not have people violate you for like not going with the theme or like doing too much. It's just one of those where like you either look boring or you do too much. So I just went for a very simple one of her dresses and very specific bag that she always used to like, and blue, even though we've established this. And then we have Goddess. And I know I already did my Greek goddess, but I went back to her because I love her, because I am one. And I want the same leaf thing that we had here, but on my back and large. Tell me that wouldn't be gorgeous. It would be. I went for a pink moment and went for that cut again where it's like starts here and the skirt goes out. I also went for a tie-up moment because the Greeks always wore those like fucking sandals where it was like tied all the way up. I don't know, they were weird. I'm allowed to say that, I'm Greek, I'm weird. My family is weird. Oh, and a long train. Next one was so confusing. I just didn't get it. But it was called like 5 different things. Dangerous Liaisons, 18th century, and then there was like another like exhibition or critique or something that they pulled from. I don't know, it was like, oh, it was furniture and fashion, I think that was the exhibition, and it was just like 3 different things, and it was like, pick one please. I was just very confused. Dangerous Liaisons, look it up because I cannot be bothered to explain it to you. I went with an 18th century cut dress, goldish, off-white, and on this dress was loads of letters, and Dangerous Liaisons has a link to love letters and affairs and things like that, and so it would kind of be made out of these like tea-stained old love letters. And then we have Chanel, again very much so like Versace, little black dress, little black heels with little bows on the heels, with gold details, gold jewelry, and I just have a little piece of fabric, not a scarf, but like a piece of black sheer fabric. And then we had British fashion, and I like this one because I played with this. I went with the royal kind of, they have that neck thing behind their head. I'm really great at this. And that would be in gold. And then we have typical old royal fashion where it was like puff sleeve, tight long sleeve, square cut, corset moment, big train and bustle. But my very little detail that I liked was the corset doesn't just stop here, it kind of goes into a triangle downwards, and on top of that I did the typical English rose kind of look. I just really loved the red and the white and the whole rose thing. I wouldn't actually have images of roses because that would probably be really tacky, and you could probably get that in M&S, but you see what I'm going for. And another little detail would be I would have finger loops. I love finger loops so much, and I could never find one like a top like that. And so finger loop it's literally a loop around your middle finger, and the sleeve kind of goes like that. And then, so next we have, I don't know how to say this and I'm not going to butcher it, but it's P-O-I-R-E-T. It was French, a French man. I don't know whether he was a critic or a designer, I can't remember. But it was very old French style, which I love. So what I went for was like a gold headpiece, like a headband kind of, scarf maybe, and big fur collar on a jacket, which was like a lighter brown than the fur on the, it would be fake fur by the way, duh. All of this would be sustainable, I don't give a fuck. And the jacket would be kind of like down to the knees. Take the jacket off, reveal the dress, simple kind of straps down here, corseted, and then we'd have the, again, that structural kind of skirt on the dress where it has like hoops, but the hoop, there's like 1 hoop, 2 hoop, 3 hoop, and they kind of get bigger as it goes down. Again, I'd have it in like a white and pink, just really elegant. Then we have superheroes, which was a fun one. I mean, it's a very costumey, but it is a fun one. And so what I went for was like a skin tight bodysuit with like a black design. I was inspired by like one I saw online when I was looking on Pinterest, and it would be kind of shimmery, not glittery, but shimmery. And it would just be a bodysuit. And then you'd have like a massive fur coat, again, fake fur, black fur coat with like, I don't really like latex, but that kind of look with boots, which went all the way up to your thighs, like up the thigh. So very like slick, elegant, tight, and then you just have this like fun, characteristic big fur coat. Take the coat off, you're in action. Put the coat on, out of action kind of thing. Then we have model as the muse. This was 2009, I believe, when the Met Gala started to be super famous. All these celebrities started to get invited, and all the outfits were awful. I mean, to be honest, at the time they were on trend, but they were just, I hate the early 2000s fashion so much, like with my entire heart. Like Y2K makes me want to throw up. Not on you, just the style. And model as the muse is a very confusing kind of theme. I literally looked up and it was just like kept saying model as the muse, like there was just no explanation to it. So I assumed that each person, because it was the first time that celebrities were kind of super invited and like it was a very big deal, that the model, the person wearing it, would choose what they wore and they would have created it. I kind of went with that. I went for a very modern cottagecore kind of look. Puff sleeves out here, like really super big, super tight, corseted, tight at the waist, comes out super puffy and beautiful, and pastel pinks and creams. Those are my favorite colors as well. I love this style of dress, the sleeves especially. Next we have American Woman. Again, these people have like no creativity in their brains, it actually hurts. But I went for something new anyway. So at first, the whole thing is actually like fur, fake fur. It's like off-white and the sleeves are very puffy, and then underneath you would reveal classic red heart-shaped strapless dress, very tight, but there would be the detail of like when they had the fabric coming off of the hip, detached from the dress, but at the hip it's connected. And we have Alexander Mcqueen. Love Alexander Mcqueen. Just went for a dress I kind of saw that he made. Similar thing, just added little details of red instead of it just being pink. I hate hot pink, but pinks with, like good pinks with creams and even yellows sometimes and reds, really love that. And we have Prada, just a typical classic white silk dress. You'd have to have your makeup done like perfectly, your hair done like on theme for it to not be just a dress. Punk I had so much fun with. I love this one. I took a lot from Vivienne Westwood and I went for the hairstyle. You can see I love this hairstyle. I actually wear this hairstyle when I can. It's so gorgeous, very on theme. And I saw this outfit where it was like a girl with like very long sleeves, but I made them so long that they would touch the ground because that's what I would wear. And then I went for a Vivienne Westwood kind of skirt, different fabrics, different colors, very punk, and then very high black boots, tied up black boots, which I actually own. So that's why I love this one. Again, I don't really like belts, but when you're on theme, it kind of makes sense. Then we have Charles James, and wow, I didn't know about Charles James, but Charles James dresses, my wet dream, literally my wet dream. Tight, black, romantic, gorgeous, and then this off-white silk at the end. Oh my god, I literally just basically copied one of his dresses because that's the theme. We're on to the last page, guys. So they did China again. You explain it to me because I don't know, but I do love this dress so much. So there was a specific exhibition they were pulling from that was at the Met, and it was like 50s / China. So I went for a 50s kind of look with a blossom kind of pattern and the colors that were used in the exhibition on a specific dress, which was loads of pinks and blushes and reds. I love it. The cut is beautiful. Then we have Mannis X Machina. We all remember this. How shit were they? Just that everyone just tied up in gold and red and stripes. I mean, not gold and red, gold and silver and stripes. And I hate it. If you look at the flippin' exhibition that they were referencing, there is the most beautiful red one piece, and I would literally remake it and wear it because it was just, it looked like somebody's insides. I would wear that with all black stripes, like, you know, the vertical or horizontal, I can't remember the difference, stripes that kind of look like they're sound waves. That underneath the red, are you kidding me? It would be so cool. You can't just wear the red by itself, it's too simple. You have to actually go with the theme. I like it. I know people are gonna hate this, but I really like it. And they have Ray Kawakabu and Karakabo. I don't know how you say it, I'm so sorry. Yeah, this was very interesting and I didn't execute it very well, but there was a piece I saw which was like white suit, but it was like made out of like what horse riding boots are made out of, and then a lot of red netting, and I wanted to go for that but more off-white. It was off-white actually, I think, maybe, and I wanted to go for that with just like a netted dress. So like you'd have the suit blazer look with the red netting and then like white netting underneath that. Then we have Heavenly Bodies. I love this one. This one was when everyone showed up and I loved it. I was obsessed with it. And I would go with angel wings. I would have a gold heart in the middle with gold spurs coming out of it. Not swords, but gold spurs. We'll get into the next one. With a gold dress, puff sleeve, I would literally turn up as an angel. Are you kidding me? Why did no one do that? Ugh. But actually, no, I can't complain. I love the fits for that Met Gala. Then with camp, this is cool. I wanted to really involve this. I would have like a headpiece, which was a red heart with 3 swords in it, representing the 3 of swords, even though I hate that card. But the dress would literally be made out of tarot cards. I wouldn't use real tarot cards, but I would make it to look like it was real tarot cards. It would literally just be a normal shaped dress with tarot cards on it, but the headpiece is what would bring it together, and the whole thing is a very cute camp idea. We have In America, again, literally just the same theme. Any red dress, loads of gold. I don't know what you want from me anymore. And the last one, Gilded Age. It's self-explanatory. Please, there it is. You can see it. You're welcome. Like, oh, I don't know why people didn't get it. It just really hurts my fucking brain. You had so much freedom with this theme. Anyways, Billie Eilish served, and I took from her fit because it served. that's that. That's the end, everybody. We can all stop drilling me now. I'm not saying I'm an expert or that mine are better than other people's, but at least I understand themes. And usually these people making the Met Gala are just shit at themes. So come up with better themes. Actually, no, the recent ones are good themes. Come up with better themes though, please, in general. And celebrities, please follow the theme. Like, you're literally invited, so follow the fucking theme. Or you can just invite me. Anyways, thank you guys for letting me ramble and just make bullshit up. I love you guys very much, and I hope to see you in my next video. Mwah.